Well, we must be getting down to the nitty-gritty because the sanders are in place to be used today. Every time I see a new trade in here, I see a tool that I've never seen before. Well, he tells me they're going to finish today, and there is an awful lot of stuff left on the floor here.
I don't know if I'd like to do that. And then I'd be like, oh, it doesn't look right. It doesn't look right. It doesn't look right. You know? Zoom in on him. Zoom in.
I'll zoom. A job well done. The floor. So I have a fetish for drywall dust. Well, as you remember, the drywall got completed, and I had stated we had to do a lot of drywall cleanup. If you look in the doorway over there, that was just from sweeping the bedroom, the bathroom, and the hallway over there. That other bedroom back there has its own little pile. But this entire great room, that's where the products were sitting, so no dust got there. But you can see the contrast between all the dust that has fallen in here compared to that. So it's a couple hours later. I ran to get something to make the job a little bit easier. I've gotten all the way through the great room here, and I'm about to finish up the last little part right here. I'm sure once this thing dries up, it'll probably haze over again. But I get a lot better success with the mop, capturing more of the fine dust and that primitive idea that I was doing earlier before I went to the store. And nothing's cheap anymore. This was like a $90 bucket. So, yeah, that's where we are. Let's see if I can find some dry areas here to see what color it's. There's some there. Some more over here. So I'm sure I have this. I'm sure I'll probably have to hit it another 2 times at least to get it where I want it. But hopefully this has been successful in not having this stuff get tracked everywhere every time you walk through here. So pretty happy with it. Just take our time and do a little bit each day. That's it. We're in the midst of getting the barndominium all cleaned out from all the dust. A lot of it I didn't even cover because it was just so filthy and trying to get it done. But this morning we cleaned the garage out so we could run the scrubber. We rented a scrubber to do the whole place. So even after it's been scrubbed, it still looks like it dries white. And that's already been hit like 3 times with the scrubber. So it's definitely been pushing both of us to our limits to where we're getting on each other a little bit. So as a peace offering, I'm trying to take care of my wife's boat. It was just snow white with all the drywall dust that fell in the garage. I'm just about done with it, but I just want to show you the contrast to give you an idea how bad it was. Right there. Pretty nasty. I've worked my way all the way around it with the vacuum, trying to get it all off of there. Back is all finished. At least now we can throw it in the wash or something, or spray it off. And won't be throwing dust everywhere if we drag it off the boat. I was kind of curious if the mice were getting in there too. I don't know. Hopefully not. But they do like it in this garage. We caught a couple of them. So we're very aware of that. So I was just going to show you real quick how the wood floor came out. Like I said, all of these were power washed with this scrubber that we rented. So it was one of those industrial ones. So it doesn't track dust anymore, but you can still see it turns white after it dries a little bit. But the wooden floor came out pretty good. You can actually read the lettering on the floor now. This was like 2 mops, or maybe a push broom, 1 mop, and then the scrubber like 3 times over. And it still dries with white. It's like impossible to get it back to normal again. But as long as it's not tracking. I actually did all the dusting on all these huge walls. I had I think it was a 10-foot pole. So my 12-foot one kind of broke, so I wasn't able to make it all the way to the top. I got up to like the white line right there. I think that'll be okay. But I've been breathing a lot of dust the last few days. And we're keeping right on top of it. As soon as we dust the wall down, we'll get right to the bottom and suck it all up along the edge. That's why I jumped on it so early. I didn't want this stuff to overwhelm us as we kept on going with the wall wiping and everything. So the main floor was kind of done roughly. Just got some fans going here because it got a little wet, so sorry about the noise. So yeah, I think we're ready to go to the store and get some primer. I figured about 25 gallons to just prime it, and then we're gonna paint it. We still haven't decided whether we're gonna do different colors or just do it all eggshell or something. But that should keep us busy for a while, but all the dusty junk is out of the way. We don't have to breathe that stuff anymore. My wife got the tubs all nice and clean yesterday. They had a lot of splatter on them and dust that accumulated underneath, down underneath there, and also settled in the bottom of the tub. And we still haven't gotten our onyx pan, even though it's in. I think they just want to be closer to where all the fixtures can start to be put in before they bring that out. Toilets and sinks and such. Our granite. Well, I shouldn't say granite. It's actually, what is the word? I can't remember, but I'll think of it in a minute. The quartz, that's what I'm trying to think of. We got some quartz that came in yesterday. And it's the upgraded quartz. The name slips my mind right now. I'm just tired. But the one we bought, I think it's called Picasso. And when you see it, it's just amazing. I'll try to put a picture at the end of this video, show what it looks like. That's it for now. Hopefully that fan isn't too loud, but we're in the next stage of the project, which is priming the walls throughout the place. Bought myself some of those nice, they're like 19-inch rollers or something like that. Nice big rolling pan. Get a lot of coverage with the additional width on the roller. Right now I'm working on the hallway. Get past the fan here. So me and the wife, we got the living room done in about a day and a half. Some of the hard to reach places were a real pain in the neck. We got all kinds of extension poles and trim pads to try to slide up the corners. Bought a scaffold there. This room alone took 5 gallons, if you can imagine that. That's just one coat coverage. There's still some spots that need touching up. I can see one right up there. But it's a lot of work, and then the air conditioner went down because when they had the thermostat disconnected, I guess the wires must have touched each other and popped the fuse up in the furnace area. So it took a couple days for them to come out to get the fuse replaced. So we were in here sweating bullets until they finally came today. So it should get a lot nicer in here now. It's been very humid in here. So once we get this living room to its color that we pick, things should speed up pretty quickly. I figure if I could trim and paint a room a day, that'd kind of ease the pain a little. So the thing is with this drywall, it just sucks up this primer like nobody's business. You keep going over it and going over it, trying to get it all sealed up, and it just keeps sucking it in. So all you got to do is make sure it gets a good seal on it, and then hope for the best when you go to the primary color on it. So just wanted to add that in today. So today I was focusing on this hallway and the hallway back by the other bedrooms. Hopefully I can finish all that today and then move on to the next step. But that's where we are now. Thanks for watching. As I mentioned earlier, we bought scaffolding so I can reach right up in the corner from a seated position, my feet hanging over the edge, about 6 feet off the ground. So it'll work perfect. I leave the wheels unlocked and I'll just scoot around the room, edge in the ceiling, and then I'll be able to roll it this way too. So I'm in the master bedroom now. So thanks for watching. Those pictures of the counter, the quartzite that I was referring to, those will be coming up in a moment. God bless.